All right, let's get this party started. All right, so it is currently 11 p.m. and today's date is August 29th. It feels like August has been a pretty long month. I don't know what it is, but honestly, I'm not complaining. I love the month of August. Okay, like naturally for me, I mean it's my birth month, so I don't know. You know what? Let me just move on from that. So I have multiple different things that I've been writing in my notes these past few days. I've been feeling very inspired to talk about this, and it feels nice to actually say that. You know, like what I just said, that I feel inspired to talk about this is because honestly, I know that for a while, look, I wrote this down in my notes app, right? In the journey of looking for love, I've found out that it was with me this entire time. And that may sound a little, I don't know how to explain it, like fairy tale. It may sound magical. It may sound like, oh my, like, what does he mean? I don't know. But it's kind of interesting because, I mean, so many different people will experience this where they feel like in order to experience love, in order to live through love, you have to have someone, you know. In my case, I felt like for a while maybe it was a woman that I needed in my life in order for me to feel love. But truthfully, after having had various different experiences with different people, I've understood that the only person that I've ever really needed to feel love was with myself. And I don't mean that in a way that's like, okay, now I'm just going to disregard any experience that I could potentially have going forward. In fact, it's not that at all. When I said a few minutes ago, like a minute ago, that I feel very inspired to talk about this, the reason I feel inspired to talk about this is actually because of a woman. And it's not to say that like I'm in love with this woman and now we're gonna talk about this in this video. It's more so that with this woman in particular, we've only known each other for about like about 4 weeks. Tomorrow it makes 4 weeks. And like, I mean, by only known it, like when I say we've only known of each other for 4 weeks, I literally mean like before 4 weeks ago, this woman was not in my life. I didn't even know she existed. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what I mean by we didn't know of each other until 4 weeks ago. So for this to come up into my life, especially because that time, something before, like another person before her, things just didn't work out the way that I had hoped with two different people. And it's not like I was doing things with two different people at once. It was more so like in the journey of looking for love with someone else. If it didn't work out with one person, I'm too stubborn to just be like, okay, let me pause and reflect. And sometimes it wasn't even like, even if I was taking a pause to reflect and all that stuff, something would just come up where another person just kind of got, like, I don't know, like for instance, with this woman that's in my life now, it's not like I went towards a dating app, or it's not like I was going out looking for a woman at a club or something like that. I literally went to a dude's birthday party, and this whole thing was orchestrated where her and I were introduced to each other. And then we just kind of went off from there. You know, they literally put us in a room together, like her and I, not in a room. We were in some dude's like kitchen, like no bullshit. We were in some dude's kitchen. Because they told her, like, she went inside, then they asked me to go inside, and then the other person that was there left, and it was just me and her, and we were both drunk off our ass, literally just talking, getting to know each other briefly, and then we exchanged numbers at the end, and now we've been talking for about like four to five, yeah, we gotta say, like, we make 4 weeks we make 4 weeks, we do make 4 weeks, I guess you could say, because that's how long we've known each other for, right? So whatever, the point is, in the journey of looking for love, I found that it's been within me this entire time, right? And now the thing is, it's not to say that I'm just now going to eliminate, it's not to say that I'm now going to eliminate her because I'm like, oh, the love is within me. No. That's only the beginning. And by the beginning, I mean, once you have love for yourself, right? It's not to say that, okay, I only need love for myself, I don't need love from anyone else, you know? Don't stop yourself from having a good time, especially if both people are having a good time, like how in this case it feels like. Genuinely, this is the first person. And the thing is, like, in my mind, I'd like to just run with the idea and the hope that this is the person that I'm just gonna be with for the rest of my life, because this is the kind of dynamic that I've always have. Like, there's like a meme, like, we used to pray for times like this. I think that's like from a Meek Mill song or something like that. I don't even know. But genuinely, it's not to say, I know I've expressed this a few times now, but the point is, it's not to say that I'm just going to eliminate potential love from anyone in my life going forward. No, in fact, I will welcome her into my life, because if it's amplifying the love that's there, that's even better. You know what I'm saying? That's even better. Why cap yourself out at what you feel now when the potential is even higher for that, And listen, you can apply that to like just about anything, but you can apply that to like certain situations where there's nothing being amplified. But I mean, everything is, there's just so much. There's so many different ways that everything could go. This is why the experience of life itself is just the purest way to go. It's not to say eliminate your thoughts. It's not to say eliminate other people's opinions or perspectives or whatever. It's really just the experience of life will reveal to you the truth. At the end, throughout, and maybe not at the end. Well, at the end, I suspect that like once whatever's animating this physical body of mine, once that's separated, maybe I'll have a better understanding of truth overall, But whatever. The reason why I also want to bring this up, right, is because the dynamic that I have now, in terms of how things were dealt with before and how things are going now, I want to talk about the difference. It's like putting them both against each other, right? Lust versus love, right? And the thing is, a lot of lust and a lot of love, they're very, very different, very, very different. I'd like to think, in my eyes, or not, hold up, I take that back. The way that I sort of understand and interpret the difference between the two, right? Lust is very performative. Very performative. When you're doing lustful things, it's performative because, for instance, right, the other day, I kind of had like a temptation or an urge. And it's very easy to get upset at yourself for having a temptation or an urge, right? But the hardest thing, I would say, not even the hardest thing, realistically, to beat yourself up over having a temptation or an urge is not realistic. If we're going to be real, having a temptation or an urge for whatever that temptation or urge is about, that is human. That is literally human, But I said to myself, I know what the devil looks like, because a temptation or an urge, if you play into that and you act on it, you're dancing with the devil. You're dancing with the devil. That's a peculiar way to put it. I don't mean that quite literally, obviously, but genuinely, if I were to have acted on that temptation or urge that I had a few days ago, it would have completely, for me, it would have compromised love. It would have compromised love. And acting on a temptation or an urge, and then looking at love, real love, potential love that could have ever expanding like opportunities, possibilities, and all that, for something that is temporary, very temporary, and then also has you feeling like ass, and then love that has you feeling great and wonderful, which one would you choose? Which of the two would you choose? Because I know which one I'm choosing every time, So the temptation, so lust over versus love, you can easily tell over time. Maybe like a few years ago, I might have not been able to tell. Rookie things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just, at the beginning, you might not be able to tell, but over time, the more you tune into these things, you'll tell the difference between lust versus love from yourself, between a dynamic of two people, and what you see around you. You see that very clearly, and you'll understand more and more. At least I myself am understanding more and more. I would never compromise love for the simplest thing like lust, like a temptation or an urge to go do something that's gonna like sort of make you like, oh, like it's kind of like itching you. It's like, it feels like an itch, like you just want to go scratch it, but you're just like, why would I go scratch that if it's gonna make me bleed? You know what I'm saying? Why would I go scratch that if it's gonna make me bleed, and then it can cause further problems when I could just leave it alone? Don't scratch the itch. Listen, again, it's easier said than done. And regardless of which one you choose, I am not judging you no matter what. Because at the end of the day, everyone is very capable of choosing either or, And over time, if you can get yourself to choose, because at least for me, if I'm choosing love over lust every time, I know for a fact, in terms of the long game, in terms of what I project for not just now, but for what I can see in my futures, for what I can see developing and building on, love is the way to go. There's nothing that's going to be built for lust for me. Nothing, absolutely nothing. There's just nothing that's gonna build there. It's literally just like you can think of it like instant gratification of lust, whereas love, it may not be instant gratification. I mean, it could very well be, to be honest. It could very well be instant gratification in love, but that it's way more real in terms of the gratification that you get from love. That is way more real than what you can get out of lust, and that's, for me, a damn fact. Like, that's a damn fact. And listen, another thing that I mentioned I think in the video that I recorded before this one, genuinely, there was the same woman that I'm telling you that has sort of, and the thing is, like, we were on a phone call, maybe like a FaceTime call, actually, like maybe like a few nights ago, you know? And I had a birthday party, like a few nights ago too, before, like, I think I had my birthday party, let's say, like, today is Friday. I think last weekend, Sunday night. So today's Friday, literally 5 days ago, I think, right? If that's me doing the number right. 5 days ago on Sunday, I had a birthday party, right? And it was a little gathering between myself and my closest friends, and she was there with her friends, right? And we were just all vibing and all that stuff, having a good time. It's 11/11, make a wish. We were having a good time. And then the following day, her and I ended up like on a FaceTime call, and we were sort of recapping the night. We were sort of talking about things because like we went on a walk around the neighborhood, right? And we were both drunk and high. Like, we were just going on a walk, and there were some things that were said and talked about. Like, we had a conversation on that walk, but literally for the life of both her and I don't think, I personally, I'm not too sure about her, but she probably was also the same thing, to be honest. We just couldn't remember all too well exactly what it was we had on that. We just couldn't remember all too well what we talked about on that walk because of the things, the substances that we were under, like the influence that we were under of both marijuana and alcohol. Like, how could you remember every detail? You just literally couldn't. I remembered some bits and pieces, but whatever. The point is, we ended up on a FaceTime call the night after the birthday party, and we were just talking, you know, and we've had a few talks here and there about like intention and all that stuff, right? And when it's gotten to that, I've only asked her once, out of like curiosity, but we ended up talking about it again over the FaceTime call. And it's interesting because I gave her like the rundown of how I got to my journey of semen retention, and I connected it to what she was talking about. And then I also talked about love, like my philosophy on love. Genuinely, true love is so unmistakably true. It's so unmistakably truth. You can't look at real love. And when I say real love, I mean, I just simply mean love. When you look at love and you see it, that's truth. You can't look at that and be like, that's false. And if you think that's false, something is wrong with the perspective or the lens that you are looking at life at, because you just can't look at like true love. You can look at that and sit and say that is the same as truth. There's no difference. So yeah, in terms of semen retention, I also wrote down in my notes that I want to talk about like 100 days of semen retention, because I mean, I have not been keeping count per se. Like, I just literally, it's not like I mark my calendar and I'm like, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to day 100. But I could tell just by thinking about it, I'm probably somewhere near like day like 70 to like day 100. I'm low key already past day 100. I just had one situation where something occurred, and then a release happened, to say the very least. But, and listen, that dynamic was definitely a lustful dynamic. That was not anything that was grounded in love. And I genuinely know the difference now. And listen, some things can be very, how can I say, deceiving, because you think that maybe because this has happened or whatever, but until you know for certain, and listen, even with with the woman that I have a dynamic with now, I am not saying that is love that's gonna. Listen, I don't want to say that actually, because I don't know if it's jinxing it, but I would love to see this dynamic continue flourishing and continue developing and continue bringing us together. But here's the thing: this is also this is a paradox about the situation, right? Because as much as I would wish or hope to see that, even the wish or the hope, that is a piece of performance, right? It's a piece of performance. Because in reality, at least in my lens that I'm viewing life through, if love is so unmistakably true, then no matter who that person is, no matter who it is, whether it's her or someone else, as much as it like kind of low-key breaks me to say that, it's like no matter what happens, no matter what choice, what decision we make, I firmly believe, and this is tricky, I firmly believe that we would have ended up going this entire way or not, regardless of what choice or decision we have made. It's a little tricky. I'm low-key kind of saying that, but it's maybe kind of coming out a little performative because I'm like, do I know that for certain, though? I don't think I do. It's kind of tricky. Because, have you ever heard of the red string theory? It's a beautiful theory. But who's to really say or know for a fact or for certain that that's really the truth? I don't know. But whatever. The point is, to be honest, what I'm trying to get at, though, this is the point that I want to express. Because I mentioned this earlier. True love, like real love for yourself, because that's really, really where it begins. Because if you have love for yourself, anything that comes up after that will just only amplify it. And if it doesn't, then you don't have to attach yourself to that, because now you're you're belittling yourself. You're like making yourself fit into someone else's perspective or understanding of what love is or what the kind of dynamic you have is. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to compromise love at all. Love for yourself, you don't want to compromise that. First and foremost, the love that you have for yourself, you do not compromise that at all. At all. That is literally, that's a big no. Big no on that one for me for sure. You do not want to compromise that at all, because if I compromise that and disregard myself for the sake of someone else, like, don't get me wrong, like there are certain circumstances where it's like, okay, I'll put myself down a little bit, like depending on who it is or something like that. But at the end of the day, it won't come at a cost of me compromising myself, the love that I have for myself entirely. It won't even cost a little bit. It'll probably just be like I don't even know. Like, I just don't see how I can compromise love whatsoever. That's why I'm saying, like, look, if she doesn't end up to be the one that I'm seeing love flourish with and develop with and go further with, that's totally fine. Because at the end of the day, that wouldn't have compromised the love that I have for myself at all. At all. It doesn't. If it's amplifying the love that I have for myself and it's going to stay around, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, and I will cherish that love between her and I until the death of me. But if it's gonna, if it's not how she sees it, then that's totally fine. I'm not gonna compromise the love that I have for myself just because she doesn't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's complicated, but it's not complicated if you kind of understand, or if you're picking up what I'm dropping. I don't know. But we're already about like 18 minutes into this video, and I'm just glad that I came out here to say this, because we're living in interesting times. I don't know. The reason I also brought up the 100-day semen retention is because I don't know if it has anything to do with what I just talked about in this video at all. But I will firmly say and believe that the detachment from looking at an adult website, right? Looking at that, if you detach yourself from that, keep the seed within and let that flourish, the love and confidence you'll have for yourself undoubtedly is going to boost. Undoubtedly. Now, is that a fact? I can't quite say. But I know for a fact, in my life, in the moments from when semen retention started, before that and after that, it is a night and day difference for me, personally. Definitely. Like, just even the way that I'm talking about now, like, just even the way I'm talking about things now, listen, there's no perfection. But this, by far, feels closest to the truth that I've had for myself, at least. Like, the understanding of me, my feelings, my understanding, my philosophy, the energy that I have around me, the energy that I have within, meditating, the dynamics that I've had in different experiences in the past few months, the friends I've had in my life, all those things, the understanding that I've had because of that, because of semen retention, if that's the case, night and day difference from before semen retention to after. Night and day difference. And knowing that this is what the difference is, the night and day difference, I'm going for the post semen retention journey every time. Why would I sabotage myself and go backwards? There's no point. There's literally no point. That's why the decision or the choice, if it was ever made, it was made, and I never had to look back. I never had to look back, because that's how I know. That's how I know it was like, how can I say that? I don't even know how to express it. I just don't need to look back at the decision or choice that was made in terms of beginning the semen retention journey. And I don't even look at it as a choice or decision that was made. It just somehow occurred. But like I'm saying, like if it was a decision or choice, I'm not looking back at all. There's no reason to look back. Why would I look back? Like genuinely, why would I look? And by looking back, I mean like why would I go back and all those things? But looking back and reflecting is still a beautiful thing. Understanding the difference between then and now, it's a beautiful thing. So before a police officer pulls up, I'm gonna pull away from this parking lot that I'm at. But that's about it. It's 11:20 p.m. I'm gonna go home. I think my parents bought some desserts back home, so I'm probably gonna feast on those. I can't lie. I kind of eat late sometimes. No, I definitely eat late every time, but still gotta get the gains though. You know, I didn't go to the gym yesterday, so that's tough. I'm probably gonna try to go to the gym like Sunday, because today's Friday. Yeah, whatever. Now go enjoy your life, and I sincerely, really do mean that. That's it.